Today, we're diving into a story of incredible national ambition. We're talking about a high stakes play in the race to build the technology that will define the future. Okay, let's get right into it. This quote right here, it just says it all. It perfectly captures what's going on. Australia isn't just dipping its toes in the water or waiting to see what happens. No, it is making a bold, decisive move to lead this quantum revolution. The whole strategy is assertive. And believe me, the stakes could not be higher.
And this is the heart of the gamble, almost 1 billion Australian dollars. Now, this isn't just some routine funding. This is a massive, focused investment from the federal and Queensland governments, all going into one company, PsiQuantum, to build the world's first utility-scale, fault-tolerant quantum computer. It's a move designed to leapfrog everyone else in the race. But of course, a bet this big doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It's really the crown jewel of a much bigger, very carefully thought out national strategy. What we're seeing is Australia making a deliberate shift from being known for its world-class academic research to becoming a true powerhouse in actually building and delivering the technology. And here's the playbook that's guiding the whole thing. The National Quantum Strategy, which they launched back in May 2023, is all about one thing: turning those brilliant ideas from the lab into real-world advantages that benefit the entire nation. So the big question is, how do they plan to do this? Well, the strategy is built on these 5 key pillars. See, it's not just about building one amazing computer. It's about creating a whole thriving ecosystem around it, making sure the infrastructure is secure, positioning the country as a global leader, and, this part's absolutely critical, developing the skilled workforce you need to make it all happen. I mean, think about it. You can't just build a world-class engine. You also have to build the car, the roads, and you have to train the drivers, right? And it's really important to put that $940 million figure into perspective. While yeah, it's the number that grabs all the headlines, it's really just one piece of a much broader, multi-layered investment strategy. There are hundreds of millions more being poured into other federal programs and hubs, like Quantum Australia, to lift up the entire sector. Okay, so we've got the strategy, we've got the funding in place, but who are the actual people and the companies on the ground that are building Australia's quantum future? And this is where it gets really interesting, because it shows Australia is not putting all of its eggs in one basket. So while PsiQuantum's huge project uses photons, particles of light, as its qubits, the rest of the ecosystem is incredibly diverse. You've got other major players pioneering silicon-based qubits, which is great because it can leverage existing computer chip technology. Then you have some developing diamond-based processors that can actually work at room temperature, and others are focused on ion trap systems. Having this kind of portfolio is a huge strategic advantage. And this isn't just talk. This stuff is really happening. For example, Silicon Quantum Computing, or SQC, just proved its tech could handle a super complex quantum calculation with an amazing level of accuracy. A milestone like that sends a really clear signal. Australia's homegrown silicon tech isn't just some experiment. It is a world-class contender, for sure. But okay, let's be real for a second. A plan this ambitious, this huge, is going to face some enormous challenges. We have to be clear about the friction points and the very real hurdles that could potentially derail this entire national project. And this slide really gets to the core conflict, the central tension of this whole story. On the one hand, you've got massive government backing and truly world-class research. But on the other hand, you have a dangerously thin talent pool, startups that are struggling to get resources, and a wider industry that, frankly, is still trying to figure out what all this means. So the foundations are definitely strong, but those systemic weaknesses are serious. This quote just nails the single biggest strategic danger here: flagship dependency. Think about it. What happens if that massive PsiQuantum project is a huge success, but the wider ecosystem of suppliers, startups, and skilled workers just isn't ready to support it? It would become this isolated island of success, not the foundation of a whole new national industry. And if you want to make that thin talent pool problem feel painfully real, just look at this number. 400. That's how many new quantum engineers they need for the Brisbane project alone. Finding, training, or attracting that many specialized experts is, well, it's a monumental task. It's an immediate, urgent priority. So, with all those challenges on the table, let's flip the script a little bit. Let's just imagine for a moment that the gamble works. What does success actually look like? What is the ultimate prize for taking on this level of risk?
Well, this future is grounded in a pretty clear schedule. The first huge milestone is to get that Brisbane computer up and running by late 2027. After that, the plan expands to bring in other technologies, like those ion trap systems. And then, as we head into the 2030s, the focus shifts to building out the entire domestic supply chain. So yeah, this is a long-term vision.
And this, right here, this is the real endgame. The goal isn't just to have and operate a powerful quantum computer. The ultimate prize is for Australia to become a place that designs and builds them, to establish its own quantum manufacturing footprint and secure a permanent spot at the very top of this critical global industry.
So, in the end, it all comes down to this. The bet is huge. The ambition is off the charts, and the risks are very, very real. All the pieces seem to be in place, but now, delivery is everything. The question we're left with is whether Australia can actually follow through and turn this incredibly audacious vision into a reality.